In a world of endless fandoms, one podcast dares to cover them all. Welcome to Between Two Batcaves, your go-to HQ for everything from comics to the screen and all the IP in between.
All right, hello, and thanks for hanging with us today on this episode of Between Two Batcaves. We are your hosts. I am Austin Luke, and he is Jordan Brownstein. And today, and that is Lola.
As I go on mute for your intro.
And today, we are
Keep
discussing... 100%. We are discussing the House of the Dragon Season 3 finale. Before we can do that, few things we got to go over. Y'all know how I do it over here. Off the front on Between Two Batcaves, whether this is your first or 69th episode with us, pause.
Shout out Jared Allen, of course.
You got to let us know how we're doing over here on Between Two Batcaves. A few ways you can do so. First, you can follow the pod on the podcast platform of your choice. Next, you can leave a 5-star rating and review on that podcast platform. Lastly, you can share the show with a friend. Those three things go a long way to help us out and grow. Socials, we are everywhere at Between Two Batcaves with the number 2, except for Twitter. That is at B2Batcaves with the number 2. I don't know why. So go follow all the socials if you want to stay up with the latest from Jordan and I outside of the main podcast feed. And lastly, if you are watching Between Two Batcaves on either YouTube or Spotify, first of all, thank you so much. Do what you got to do over there. You got like, you got subscribe, you got ring the bell. Quick reminder here, we are still doing our YouTube subscriber challenge. We are currently
We're close.
2 subscribers away. 2 subscribers.
We're knocking on the door. We need 2 people out there.
Well, do you want to know how close we are to knocking on the door? Twice within the last week, we've gone up to 99 and then lost a subscriber.
One. Oh, dude, I didn't know.
So we would be at 100.
Oh, I wish I didn't know that.
So to whoever unsubscribed, come on, man.
But also,
what do we
see what you're doing.
But anyway, if we do hit 100 subscribers, if and when we do, all of our YouTube subscribers who comment on our recent videos will be entered to win the hat that Jordan is wearing. The Between Two Batcaves first piece of merch, only people who own that are me and Jordan, could go to you. So we're extending, basically, if you go back and comment on any of our videos from our House of the Dragon Season 6 review up until our Spider-Man
Episode 6, right?
Yeah. Season 3, Episode 6, sorry.
No,
up until our Spider-Man Brand New Day video. Comment on any of those to be entered into the giveaway, and we will give away a hat at 100 subscribers. That's everything I got. Jordan, please let everybody know what we're doing today, what to expect from us in the near future.
Like you said, today we are here to just kind of wrap up our thoughts on Season 3 of House of the Dragon. We, for various life reasons, didn't have a chance to get together and talk about the penultimate episode. So we're here to talk about the finale and, whatever thoughts and feelings that we have to process about this season of TV. Coming very soon, as you're listening to this, probably this weekend, the season premiere of Lanterns is coming out on HBO Sunday night. HBO Prestige DC Television. Austin, we're going to be covering the show.
We are indeed.
So, in addition to covering the show itself, we're going to be dropping an episode, obviously breaking down everything that happens in the season premiere of Lanterns. Before that episode, Sunday morning, we are going to have a very special episode dropping on the feed, a little collaboration. Our friends over at the Sons of Gun podcast covering everything going on in the DCU. We're getting together with them and doing a little DC TV draft. So,
dude,
very excited about
draft.
that. Dude, I've been trying to do a draft on this podcast since we started it.
Yep.
So,
since our one with shout out TCR from Reckless Rebels.
Absolutely.
We did a draft with him.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, of course. TCR. Love you. We're getting together with the Sons of Gun podcast to do a DC TV draft in celebration and anticipation of Lanterns dropping. So stay tuned to drop in for that just in a matter of days here. Aside from that, I mean, I don't know about you. I'm going to go see the end of Oak Street with Maddie this weekend.
I'm seeing that on Monday.
Okay, so maybe we'll talk end of Oak Street, depending on how that goes.
Would enjoy that, I think.
I didn't know that you were going to see that on Monday until just now, so that warms my heart a little bit. Are you going with M?
No, I'm going with Gage.
Just almost as good. So super excited. Dinosaur movie, Anne Hathaway, Ewan McGregor, time travel. Seems like almost the way I've been seeing it get described is like one of the best dinosaur movies since Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Which I just was not anticipating from the marketing of this movie, but I'm going to go see for myself, and you are too, and I anticipate us talking about it. So stay tuned for that as well. Aside from that, I mean, we got, a whole summer and early fall of lanterns, like we said. So stay tuned for that. At this point, I think, let's go ahead and fire up the Oracle report. What do you think?
I say we do it.
All right, let's do it. Just a quick disclaimer. We are going to be foregoing any Marvel or DC news talk on this episode. We're going to talk a little bit of DC stuff with the Sons of Gun in just a few days, so stay tuned for that. But the reason we're not talking about Marvel right now, even though there are a bunch of rumors and news items swirling around, is because this weekend is D23, which is basically Disney's Comic-Con, where they're going to make a bunch of big announcements, and Marvel's going to make announcements, Star Wars might. So we're going to withhold on all of that and just to see what drops at D23 this weekend and then cover all of that next week. So stay tuned for that. Aside from that, got a few things here.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, latest update on the Warner Brothers Paramount saga. Have you seen any of this in like the past week or so?
I don't think so.
So a bunch of states have joined together and sued Paramount and Warner Brothers to prevent this deal from going through. And David Ellison, the head of Paramount, has been trying to negotiate a resolution to it with the different state attorneys general who aren't coming to the table. And there was reporting this week that David Ellison is now saying that, like, if California's attorney general doesn't come to the table, he's just going to pull the entire company out of California and go presumably to like Texas or another red state. But basically just like saying that, fine, if you don't want to play with me, I'm taking my $1 billion ball and going home. Just like more man-child stuff.
Yeah.
But it seems like the deal is probably going to go through. If I had to guess, like the biggest theater chains in the country have like come out supporting it for whatever reason. Seems like David Ellison is just like doing whatever he can to get all of these billionaires in a room and just give them whatever they want in order to get this deal to go through. There is like an October 1st deadline where if the deal does not go through and finalize by then, Paramount has to start paying major penalties. So they're trying to avoid that and push it through before then. Might be something that goes through in the next few weeks or month or so. So I got a more upbeat thing to come to next, though. You have any thoughts on the latest there?
No, I didn't know about that. I mean, none of what you said surprises me, which is like the sad part. I mean, of course, he's gonna, like you said, man-child behavior. Just, I'm not gonna get what I want. Okay, well, I'm just gonna find a way to make sure I get what I want, and I'm just gonna, cheat the system until it happens. And for a long time now on this podcast, we've basically just been talking about like what the landscape of this deal going through is gonna look like potentially, and it seems, unfortunately, like we're closer and closer to seeing for real what that's going to look like, because I don't necessarily think, based on what you just said, there's really any glimmer of this might be stopped. So, yeah.
More upbeat news, and actually kind of on topic. Coyote vs. Acme is coming out pretty soon.
Dude,
and
yes.
The Rotten Tomatoes critic scores dropped today, 100% with like 20 reviews when it initially dropped. It's like down to 95% now, I think. But this is another movie that I am very excited to go see in theaters because of just how big of a middle finger it is to Warner Brothers and like big corporations in general, it seems like.
Dude, did you never got around to watching the Daffy Duck
the most recent Looney Tunes movie?
Yeah.
I haven't yet. No, but now that I'm back on HBO, I might have to check it out. I'm sure it's on
You
there,
should go
right?
check it out. I remember I watched that a while back, and dude, I really liked it. I thought it was quite fun. And it got me excited when they announced the Coyote versus Acme movie. So I'm for sure going to be going to support this movie in theaters. And
comes out
I would
August
go check
28th.
out. I would check out Dude, I can't remember the name of it now, but it's like it's Looney Tunes Destroy the Universe or something along those lines.
Yeah. I think that sounds right. But it comes out on the 28th of this month, so I'll definitely find some time in the next few weeks to check that out on the old HBO Max. Let's see. And we already talked about going to see End of Oak Street and talking about that. Did you see the AI generated dog advertisement that they put out?
The dog?
There was one of there's like a dog in the movie, and then they put out an ad of is AI generated of this dog doing a podcast talking about the movie and marketing it. And there's huge pushback against it online, obviously. And so I saw that and I was like, even at that point, I was like, I don't know if this is kind of turning me off from going to see the movie. And then those insanely good reviews have started to come since then. So just a weird sequence of events with the marketing of this movie.
Do you think maybe this was a push from the marketing team to be like, you know what we're gonna do here?
Get clicks.
We're gonna get clicks. We're gonna get good press and bad press.
Yeah,
maybe
right.
That's what they're. Plus, let's be honest here. There's a lot of people out there that are gonna see this AI podcast of a dog reviewing this movie and be like, "Yo, that's pretty sick." So there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that don't fall within the camp that of that's not a great way to promote this movie. But there's a lot of people that.
You're so right.
Do fall in that camp, and I'm sure that it is gonna work.
Yeah, it's a very good point. I didn't consider that, but regardless, Anne Hathaway's summer continues.
Indeed.
That's all I got. Just a few things here, and we'll save the big news items for the next couple episodes or so. You have anything?
No, actually, I don't. Right. Which is probably good because we got a review to do, and we're on a time limit.
We do. So, we got to get into Westeros.
We got to get into Westeros, and we got to truncate that, which is fine. I think this episode is actually suited to a shorter review.
Yeah,
I've got a lot of big picture stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Less so
it's hard to talk about how cool the battle was for an extended period of time.
Exactly,
the battle was sick. Just a spoiler alert.
So yeah, spoiler alert. There was a battle with dragons in House of the Dragon. But anyway, this would be a good time to issue our official spoiler warning for House of the Dragon Season 3, Episode 8, along with the rest of the season, potentially other seasons. And if we spoil the book, we don't know that we did that. So, our bad. Anyway, let's get on with it. We got to start off with our Batcave recap. Jordan, hit us with it.
All right, let's do it. This is the Batcave recap for The Treasons at Tumbleton, written by Ryan Condal, the showrunner, and T. McKell, directed by Andrzej Perek. Following news of Aegon and Sunfire's resurrection, Rhaenyra goes full tyrant mode, banishing Mysaria and ordering Daemon to lead the attack on Tumbleton, while she takes another bite at the anointing apple from the High Septon with help from her half-brother-in-law, Sir Alan. I'm not exactly sure what the relation is anymore, but also quasi-hand, Sir Alan. When the High Septon refuses to crown Rhaenyra, citing Aegon's return as further proof of his divine right to rule, Rhaenyra has Alan execute him. Rhaenyra then steps out to give a stump speech to the common folk, disclosing the existence of Aegon's prophecy to the people and attempting to use it as further justification for her rule. Meanwhile, Helena's mental state continues to deteriorate as it becomes clearer and clearer that she will never be able to leave the walls of the Red Keep, not without some help from Mysaria, letting her know. At her Helena's wit's end, and without any other seeming option, she tragically takes her own life, much like her future descendant, King Tommen, will years from now. You did issue a spoiler alert for anything that happens in Westeros, I believe.
I did.
So, meanwhile, at Harrenhal, Alice Rivers reveals her origin story to Aemond, admitting that she was to Harren the Black and the mother of his child at the time of Aegon's conquest, and that she turned to the dark arts to try to save her son's life unsuccessfully, that ultimately led her to be cursed and imprisoned within those walls for more than 100 years. Then Aegon and Sunfire, in all their crispy glory, come to strike Aemond down in revenge. But when Aegon finds his brother remorseful and contrite, he gives him the option to earn his forgiveness by supporting him in his quest to take the throne back. We leave Harrenhal with Aemond faced with a major decision. Will he join his brother or stay with his hot mom witch wife? episode culminates with the battle at Tumbleton as Daemon, the Winterwolves, and the thousand-strong Riverland army begin their siege of the city, while Ormond searches for the Ulf up his sleeve. Wayne and Darren attempt to negotiate peace with Daemon, offering Corlys up as a sign of good faith and suggesting that Team Black allow Darren to rule independently from Old Town. But unfortunately, Daemon has already taken his pre-workout and is set on a fight, so he takes Corlys back and sends Gwaine and Darren looking for the city walls. As the battle rages on, Ormond finally finds Ulf drunk and passed out in a Westeros porta potty. Ormond, furious and compromised by Ulf's stench, pulls him out with his pants down and gives him a public beating before ordering to take to Dragonback and join the battle. Ulf does so, but after Ormond treated him just how Daemon did, he is not on any of these lords' sides anymore. Ulf and Silverwing indiscriminately torch the city, burning Hightowers, Winterwolves, Rivermen, and common folk alike. As Ulf rains hell on the city, Roddy the Ruin finds Ormond on the battlefield, spitting blood in his face and stabbing him in the butt before Ulf and Silverwing cleanse them both with fire, giving the ultimate Winterwolf the ultimate death. As such, similar to how the season began with the Battle of the Gullet, the Battle of Tumbleton ends in another bloody brawl. That has been your Batcave recap for the season 3 finale of House of the Dragon.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so obviously we're going to start off with just kind of big thoughts here on this episode as a standalone episode and as a season finale. Obviously, those two are going to kind of blend together. It's appropriate to do so, I'd say, here, because it is the finale of this season. So just kind of thoughts of it on its own and as a season as a whole. I'll kick us off. I think that this was it was a dope episode. I mean, finally, we get this. I say finally, we started off the season with a battle. We ended the season with a battle, just like you said. But, we've been building up to this. I really liked what we got here. I enjoyed what we got with the battle and just like Daemon just balling out, man. Always love to see that guy on the battlefield.
He was on the ropes, though, there at the end with old Bull John. I think he was probably going down. If not for like the Dragonfire intervention.
You're probably right. I mean, he was outclassed. Like John is a much bigger man than Daemon. Oh, he's a house. But also, dude, it's just like the gravity like Daemon has. And we get into more detail a little bit later. But it's just like, dude, I love watching Daemon and Caraxes together. I love watching them together. In my opinion, potentially best dragon rider bond that we have in all of Game of Thrones is Daemon and Caraxes.
Ooh, that would be a fun draft.
It would be indeed. But anyway, so I also really enjoy in this episode, just like, dude, I don't know if this was intentional, but by the end of this episode, I straight up do not like Rhaenyra. Like, I just don't like her. And I mean, is that where we're supposed to be leaving with this character?
I mean,
maybe.
I think I don't know if it's like whether or not we're supposed to like her as a person, because I think since the beginning they've all been like pretty terrible people, but we were able to root for her within the context of the show. Yeah, I think you're right. At this point, like, I would much rather watch Aegon and Sunfire come in. We said this like a few weeks ago,
a couple episodes ago. Yeah,
who do we want to see at the end? And yeah, I mean, that is, I think, just like the most interesting thing that could happen going forward. And kind of like, it's I don't know how they have made me like half root for Aegon.
Dude, but they have. Yeah. I mean, look, my Rhaenyra stock has gone down and my Aegon stock has gone up.
Dude.
The way that Aegon is reintroduced of just like coming in and he just smacks his brother around. He's like, hello, I'm alive, imbecile.
Dude, that line reading was incredible. Tom Glenn Carney.
So good.
Like, that scene was one of my favorite scenes in like any of these shows in a very long time.
Yes, I 100% agree. But yeah, so it was a good finale to a good season. I think all in all, we are standing in the end of season 3 better than we were at the end of season 2. I would be lying to myself and you if I did not mention, though, that I do kind of feel like where we are left off at the end of this season is a similar feeling that I had at the end of season 2. I think it was a better season.
I've been trying to place it.
We ultimately spent a season building up to this event. Got it, but we still haven't got we're still waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's exactly how we felt at the end of season 2, and that's kind of how I'm feeling now. I'm feeling better than I did at the end of season 2, but I'm still left here being like, okay, when's it gonna happen? And obviously the answer is next season, but
final season, yeah.
Am I sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for that season? Not as much as I would like to be, unfortunately. But that's just kind of where I'm not trying to diss this season because I thought it was great.
Yeah.
But we're still waiting.
I was wondering if you were going to feel that way because I've like kind of felt bad about it because you're right. Like this is I think a really good episode of TV that caps off what has been like, I think you're right. Like good to really good season of TV. But there is something that like I haven't been able to place that just feels like missing from it, from like the equation of like the investment that I have in the story. And you're right. Like I think that the Rhaenyra turn this season has been like really well played out. Like we got the episode completely from her perspective. I think that was like episode 3, which was I think one of, if not the best episodes of the season. And we've gotten to see how like the throne has chipped away at her over the course of like almost this entire season. But I think just because the story was well told doesn't necessarily mean that it is going to get me to like be, I don't know. Just because it's so well told doesn't mean that I am fully emotionally invested in it. I'm like, this makes sense. And I feel that kind of way about this season, kind of like the show in a little way. I would be interested to know how I would feel about the show if I'd read the book, because here, listening to people who have read the book talk about it, I think what's really interesting is that like this is based off of like what is like an in-universe historical retelling where a lot of these characters are not nearly as fleshed out as they are in the show. And I think the show has done a great job in creating like some like very interesting and compelling 3-dimensional characters, but maybe just like the nature of it coming from it's important. Team
just realized that was not
Team
how
Red.
it was supposed to be.
Team Red. You're right. I don't know what it is. There's just like something missing from it a little bit. That being said, like there's still a lot that I really enjoyed in this episode and in this season. Aside from the Rhaenyra turn, we talked about, you know, the Aegon, his stock rising, like vice versa, which has been really fun to watch. Like that scene between Aegon and Aemond, so much fun. That scene almost kind of felt like it was from a different show. And it seems like Aegon has kind of been in a different show this entire season.
That's a
for
really
a lot
good
of different reasons. And so I'm just like really hopeful that his branch of the story coming back into the fold a little bit will really boost the final season up.
Let's get a little deeper here for a minute on a couple points. Let's start with where you just ended off with Aegon, because I like how you just put it. It feels like he's in a different show. I also think that this is like interesting because to me, this is that scene was the most that I've ever felt like Aegon and Aemond were brothers. You know, it was the intro, just like, hey, again, just like, I'm alive, imbecile, like you didn't do it. and then, you know, the like threat, again, there's some violence there, but then ultimately it just ends with Aegon being like, okay, you know what, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go find Vhagar and we are going to claim my throne again.
Yeah.
Like you are with me again.
Maybe I'll forgive you. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it felt like they were brothers, and that's the first time I've really felt like that with those two. So I quite enjoyed that. I
totally felt that too. I wonder if that's because like for like by nature of the story, we haven't seen them together this season. And
maybe,
the last time that we saw them together, like in our lives, was like 2.5, 3 years ago at this point. And they hated each other. Like I like think about the scene where Aemond was like pressing the small ball into Aegon's chest after he torched him. Like I like think about that scene. And so I don't know, it might just be the timing of it, but it's just great getting them on screen together again, regardless.
Oh, totally.
I also like Aegon in that scene first coming in like ready to kill Aemond, and then seeing how remorseful that Aemond was and like being like, yeah, you should kill me, I think showed Aegon's growth a lot, because in the past I think he wouldn't have cared and just still would have torched him. But now he like is not getting any satisfaction out of like the violence just for the sake of it, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And it is his brother, but it is also the person who tried to kill him in Dragonfire. So he would have, in a lot of people's minds, been justified in killing him. So just like another feather in like the cap of maybe Aegon's changed.
Dude,
I don't know.
Listen, people can label us Aegon Truth. I don't care, man. Like,
you cannot deny that he's like more compelling to watch, regardless of like how you feel about him as a character.
He is. Like, listen, I understand what a just crappy dude he is. I really fully understand that. And maybe this says a lot about me, but I am rooting for him. I am. I don't care.
We've also seen Rhaenyra do a lot more bad things more recently than we've seen Aegon do any bad things.
Well, and that's a good transition.
Well, let's talk about some of the bad stuff Rhaenyra does in this episode.
Because, man,
force feeding her half sister, ultimately like leading to her suicide.
Hey, called that.
Yeah.
A few episodes ago.
Yeah.
Called that.
It was, and like this is also, I think, in reading some reviews of this episode, Helena does take her life in the book as well, but
she
in a different context. So just an interesting note. And I guess like it was always a pipe dream of seeing that vision of her on Dreamfire, I think is her dragon's name.
Yeah, Dreamfire.
The hope of seeing that realized was just like a pipe dream, unfortunately. That would have been a fun show to watch. Is this the
first time we've seen Dreamfire?
There might have been a shot in season 2 of her like in the distance somewhere, but that was the first time we ever saw her get like a nice profile up close shot like that.
Interesting looking dragon.
Very cool. I loved her frills and like the purple and blue scales. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, quite a beautiful creature.
Would like to ride her.
Yes.
Fly in the sky. Yeah. So rest in peace, Helena. That was really sad. Just like feel bad for her over the course of the season, just being imprisoned and slowly seeing her wither away. I just hope that there would be better, but
look at what she did though, because she, Mysaria like tells her, it's like, because Rhaenyra kicks
like, you're never leaving.
Yeah. And she's like, you're never leaving. Your child will be a pawn for Rhaenyra to use. And she's absolutely right. She's absolutely right.
What? So why would Rhaenyra just dismiss Mysaria outright like that? Like, I understand wanting to move forward with like Daemon's side, because like the whole season has been about like the jockeying between Daemon and Mysaria. So like, sure, yes, you go with Daemon, like let's go invade Tumbleton, do the whole thing. But that doesn't mean that you then have to like excommunicate like your mistress of Whisperers, who is very dangerous to you if she is able to like get free, which she does immediately, very easily.
Yeah.
So talk about just like it's just like hard to root for Rhaenyra as a ruler when she goes from like force feeding Helena to then making a poor political decision to then what she does at the Sept.
Well, I'm wondering too, because Baela had a really good moment in this episode where she is confronting Rhaenyra about like going to like try to find Corlys before the attack on Tumbleton, and basically Rhaenyra says like no, and
he made
Baela. And Baela like calls her out, and she's like, you use people as tools. You take them and you put them in these positions and you use them as tools until they are no longer needed, and then you cast them aside. And this is immediately followed up by her dismissing Mysaria. And I'm wondering, again, like you said, like, where did Mysaria lose her utility to Rhaenyra?
She was pretty useful to her at the end of last episode, right?
Yeah, dude. And I'm thinking like maybe that's why, because like Mysaria is a weakness for Rhaenyra, most certainly. She's an emotional weakness, but as you said, she's also a very big threat to Rhaenyra because of just like
a lot.
she knows a lot. So I'm very curious to see next season what the repercussions of casting Massaria out is gonna entail, because she just made another ultimately like not very powerful enemy in terms of like her stature in like the realm, but with the knowledge that she possesses.
And she, yeah, like her place in King's Landing and Flea Bottom and everything. Like she has the power of the people. Yeah, exactly. Except like the woman that she worked with was reading her to filth the previous episode. So she might have to go groveling back to her. But yeah. And so we then like Rhaenyra takes her trip over to the Sept. She brings her heir, Joffrey, which is like this is the first time that we're seeing him really in any serious way. She doesn't show him any real warmth or affection at all. Also, at this point, let's just say, Rhaenyra's fit here on point.
Dude,
she
listen,
sick.
The fit was fire.
The fit was so fire.
It was
the
so
chainmail, the makeup, like her eyeliner, what she did with that to make it look like
dragon eyes.
Yeah, and like the wings on the shoulder pads. So sick. Great look.
Didn't like what she was doing, but I liked the way she looked while she was doing it.
Also, I just want to reiterate, Emma Darcy, fantastic performance. Like,
yes,
the show does not want us to like her at this point. That is Emma Darcy. They are trying, I think, to convey that in the performance, and it is coming across very well. So all the stuff we're saying about Rhaenyra does not apply to them as a performer. That being said, Rhaenyra makes some other decisions when she takes her little party over to the High Sept to try to get him for the second time to anoint her. And he's basically like, no, again, I'm not doing it, especially now that like our chosen ruler has come back from the dead.
Resurrected.
Like the Targaryens are gross and disgusting. We don't like you. We have the one that we chose. Get out of here. And then she's like, all right, you're dead, and uses Alan to do it, which is also interesting and worth talking about. But Rhaenyra is just at this point on like this desperate quest for any kind of legitimacy that she can show. And obviously at this point it's like spiraled out of control. Like once she got the news that Aegon and Sunfire had come back, like that was a great moment. That was a great moment, just performance wise there, when she storms into Daemon's room. That was so much fun, seeing how like stressed out she was about it.
And it's like you said, like she's grasping for like any sense of legitimacy. And it's ultimately for what? Like this whole idea that she has of like, okay, we're going to go and make the Septon anoint me right now in front of the people. Rhaenyra, why? Why are we doing this?
Yeah, and what is that even going to accomplish?
Currently, exactly. Like you're laying siege on Tumbleton. Like you have a war at your hands, and you're still grasping for this like hope of that somehow the Septon anointing you in front of the people that she feels like she has like righteously fought tooth and nail for, which is quite debatable.
Yeah.
As if this is going to make any difference. And ultimately, like, it doesn't, because she kills the Septon, comes out to a fearful and hateful public, and then tells the Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah,
she tells them the prophecy as if it's going to make a difference, man.
Like any of those people know what she's talking about, one.
Yeah.
And two, even if they did, that like, what kind of decision making is that?
It's listen, and I know Rhaenyra believes from the bottom of her heart that she is like the chosen one, that she is the one that the prophecy speaks of. But it's difficult as viewers of the show who know that what the Song of Ice and Fire was speaking of was Daenerys. You know, you're just sitting there being like, Rhaenyra, you're not that guy, you know?
Yeah. Do you think...
yeah, man.
Do you think with her that she's more driven just by like, my dad said it should be me, so it should be me? Or do you think it's more like this prophecy, I am the one who has to fulfill it, the High Towers can't do it? Do you think... I feel like it's more...
the first.
Yeah. And she's using
everything else, to convince herself to like she's but now like putting this out as her own truth, as is like this has been the reason, but ultimately
she's drinking her own
Kool-Aid. It's what she was told. Yeah, yes, I think that is exactly what's happening here.
Yeah. All right. Very excited to see what happens between the Rhaenyra Aegon rivalry in the final season. We are on a time crunch here. Is there anything about the battle that we haven't touched on yet that you wanted to talk about? I mean, we have to talk about Ulf and like the big turn there, I think.
We do need to. I'll start off just this conversation with I'm left asking myself, we spent a lot of time this season with Ormond and Darren, and I'm now wondering for what?
That's a good question, because I wanted to know, like, do you think Ormond was a successful villain?
I think that for this season, I quite enjoyed him. I did. I liked every time we got him on the screen. I liked to hate him. And I liked this whole interplay that like he was using Darren as his pawn. But now at the end of the season, Ormond is dead and Darren is, we don't know where, seemingly gets away. We don't know. I don't know the fate of Darren in the books or anything, but
yeah, I think he's definitely alive. Like, we would know if he was not, but it is just notable that we don't see any little follow up with him there at the end.
Well, and Darren says to Gwaine, he's like, for all I care, Rhaenyra can keep her crown. Like, Darren does not want to be king. So I'm wondering like how that will play into the future, especially now that Ormond is no longer on the board.
And so now his older brothers are like, we got to go take care of the little runt who thinks that like he has some kind of claim now.
Right.
Which is, that's going to be fun.
I'm just wondering like why we spent all that time with them this season outside of it was a good villain for this season.
Mm-hmm.
But is it really going to have any lasting effects? Maybe, because like the Targaryens at the end of the day, like they do kind of lose the battle at Tumbleton. Like they retreat, they withdraw because of what you were talking about here, which Ulf, like the first betrayer.
Yeah. And like kind of like justified in the sense that Ormond did the obvious one thing that he shouldn't have done to Ulf to get him to turn against him by like publicly berating and belittling him like that. Now, obviously, Ormond was compromised by the aromas that were coming from Ulf's porta potty, but
dude's olfactory senses are sensitive, dude.
They were. Yeah, I mean, the turn was obviously coming. Like, we've been talking about the turn from the dragon seeds like since the beginning of the season, basically, like how and when is it going to happen. So here, like, I think maybe one of the reasons that I'm not fully feeling 100,000% satisfied with the end of the season is that it's like, oh, okay, yeah, like the dragon seeds turn and torch everybody like that. We kind of could have seen that coming, and it happened at the setting that we've been building it up to for the whole season, as opposed to like maybe seeing something that would have like given Ormond and Darren more staying power, as if we got to see them places other than Tumbleton for like 90% of the season. Like if we got to see them do things out in the greater world, like if they were somehow involved in the raiding party when they kidnapped Corlys, that would have been something that I think would have given Ormond specifically a little bit more staying power. But like I had fun with him, and I thought his death was like quite apt for his character.
One other thing on Ulf, a question here I have for you, because so we see obviously Ulf like come and do as he was told. He goes and he burns Rhaenyra's forces. He also then turns around and burns Ormond. He attacks the high towers and ultimately burns a lot of them as well. Where do you see Ulf as we go into the next season? I mean, whose side is he on? Is he fighting for himself? I mean, where does this character stand now? I'm not too sure.
So I think like the last shot we see of him and the dragons is Ulf on Silverwing being chased by Caraxes and Vermithor, both without riders, but Ulf was still on Silverwing. So seems like he's going to be in a similar place to where Rhaena kind of was after earlier in the season, just kind of fighting for survival. Yeah. What I'm almost a little bit more interested in is what's going to happen with Hugh, because like we see like his wife dies and he's very torn up about that. he didn't have a heel turn, and like now is like, how is the death of his wife going to, where is that going to push him going forward? I don't necessarily see how that could like lead him to betray Team Black, because like it was Ulf who did it, really.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, it was Team Black
Daemon
invading.
did see him. Like, Daemon saw
That's
him
true.
running through
That's
the
a good
city,
point.
calling for Kat's name. So, like, kind of abandoning his post on Vermithor.
Yeah.
So that could lead to some conflict. I'm with you, though. Maybe it was just like the overall notion of just like, okay, well, between him abandoning his post, he'll probably get reprimanded for that from Daemon in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
The only way that Daemon knows how to do that is violence. And then also,
Not a
like,
good parenting
the
technique.
battle. No. And then the battle led to his wife's death. The battle that was, initiated by Queen Rhaenyra. So maybe that alone is enough for him to be like, I'm no longer fighting for this queen. I'm no longer fighting for
just
Rhaenyra.
just like another rogue dragon out there, another wild card.
Yeah, I don't know how that would make him turn sides necessarily.
Yeah, just more of like a loose cannon kind of.
Yeah,
I don't know. It'll be interesting. Yeah, I mean, did you have any other thoughts on the battle? We talked a little bit about Daemon Bold John Roxton showdown, which was pretty fun. Anything
the
that
Northmen were fun to watch.
Roddy the Ruin going out. I like seeing their pre-battle, pre-charge war chant that they did.
Dude.
That was sick.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. And then just like the one arrow, just like going through his buddy on his left, and he just looks. He's like, all right, let's do it.
Exactly.
And man, did he did it. You got to give it to the North, man. They are some fierce fighters. That's what we know about the people from the North. They are tough.
And they are not afraid of death.
They are not. And they showed it well in the Battle of Tumbleton for sure. I'm trying to think here, going through my notes that I got.
Allison at the end?
Oh, yeah. She seems to be...
She had a little disturbance in the Force moment there.
She did, yeah, seemingly sensing Helena's death.
Yeah.
Do you think she's actually going to Harrenhal?
I think she's leaving Harrenhal, right? I think because she...
Sorry. Yeah. Like, do you think she's actually, like, leaving Harrenhal and, like, going to try... Is this Alicent's freedom that we just saw? Like, is she no longer a picture, like, on the board here? Is she going to play a role moving forward?
I don't know. Was she with a camp of soldiers there at the end?
It does seem that way.
Were they wearing green cloaks? I might be making that up. I have to go back and look. But if she somehow finds herself back, like, with the Hightower forces, like, back in Old Town, that, like, I could see her getting out of the fight that way. But that's a character where I'm not sure where they're going in the final season with. I think I predicted when we last talked that she would die in the finale, and that obviously did not happen.
Yeah. I mean, probably she wants... I would assume that she does want to get back. I think she wants to find Darren is ultimately, like, I think where this is going. I think that she probably wants to get back to Old Town and Helena, but that would involve going to King's Landing.
Can't do that. But she might try.
So, yeah, I'm not... Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect from Alicent moving forward.
You want to...
Who else do we got here?
Because we are on a bit of a time crunch, you want to throw rating out of 10 on this thing and call it a day and say our piece? Or is there anything else you wanted to touch on? I'm kind of going through here and thinking...
No.
We got... Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about... I think we touched on most things that happened here. I think not too much going on with the Velaryons going forward. I mean, we talked about the Baela Rhaenyra scene. Just interested to see like what their place in the royal court is going forward.
Yeah, and Alan has a moment in this episode where
he's questioning what he's doing.
And for the first time, he like speaks to soldiers and he's like, I am like, am the Lord of the Tides to be. Like, I am the rightful heir of the Valyrian.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first time that I feel like we really see him step into like that acceptance. And
but then he
like,
immediately he is then immediately wielded by Rhaenyra as a sword to kill like the High Septon, and like he's then like staring at his blood drenched sword. So albeit like that conflict with him where he does seem a little bit ambitious, but now he's doing some really terrible things. That'll be interesting. All right. Let's throw a rating out of 10 on this puppy, on this season of TV, and call it a day. What do you think?
I like it. Out of 10, House of the Dragon season 3. I'm going to give it an 8. I'm going to give it an 8. I really like this episode or this season of TV. It kind of revitalized my Game of Thrones like feel, it got me excited. Every episode, every week, I was excited to come back into this world. A lot of that also has to do with the Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Got to give credit where credit's due. But I had a really good time this season. We got a lot of great character development, a lot of great moments, and I've had a lot of fun. And just like coming week to week, watching the show, talking about it with you, and like we've been genuinely excited to do so, which is, I think, a change of pace from season 2. So I'm gonna give it an 8. I still feel the kind of like that, like you said, just something still missing. I'm still a little disappointed that we're still waiting for another shoe to drop. So can't give it much higher, but I did quite enjoy this season of TV.
I feel all of those feelings a little bit less strongly. So I'm going to go 7. I think this season had a really strong start, those first couple episodes. Even those were like unfortunately tainted by the feeling that like this should have been the cap to season 2. That with like the high point, I think, of the 3rd episode from Rhaenyra's POV, and the middle kind of lost me a little bit. What was still undeniably like well done at like filmmaking, TV making, felt a lot like the show kind of like treading water and like running in place to get to where we got in the finale, which like we talked about was like, as an episode of TV, was a lot of fun. I think really well done, but also had this feeling of like it took a long time to get here. So I'll throw a 7 down on it. I still quite enjoyed it. Had some really high moments, but ultimately, I think that there's room for improvement in the final season.
That's it, guys. That's House of the Dragon season 3.
Wrap it there. Would love to know you guys' thoughts. I appreciate you guys for coming back to us for our House of the Dragon season finale review after we missed the penultimate episode. Hit us up on the socials. Let us know what you thought about the season. Let us know what you're excited about as we kind of move into this late summer, early fall slate of TV. We're going to be talking Lanterns very soon, so stay tuned for that.
And just a quick reminder before you close out of the podcast app of your choice to leave a 5-star rating and review if you liked today's show. We will be back next week, as Jordan said, to cover Lanterns. But before that, tune in to our DC TV show draft, which Jordan and I are about to record.
Let's go.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. Dude, me too. I'm excited. So let's hop into that. Let's end this episode. Guys, thanks so much for being here with us today. Thanks for hanging with us. Until next time, from our Batcaves to yours, thanks for hanging with us, and we will see you next time. Did I mess that up? No, that's right.
See ya.
See ya.